Tonight, President Scholes delivers the State of the University address. We'll have a recap and reaction from the event.
And as cancellations continue at airports across the country, when will Boeing's 737 MAX return to the skies?
Plus, a new basketball coach may be on the way to Pullman. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Brady Frederick.
And I'm Zach Anders. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
We're following a developing story surrounding WSU men's basketball.
Ryan Peerboom joins us. Ryan, do we have a new head coach?
Well, Zach, it looks like we do. The university hasn't made anything official yet, but multiple news outlets are reporting that WSU plans to hire Kyle Smith from the University of San Francisco as their new head basketball coach. The deal is good for 6 years and is worth $1.4 million per year, according to Spokesman Review's Theo Lawson. WSU is still required to pay former head coach Ernie Kemp $4.2 million over the next 3 years as his part of the buyout agreement.
Yesterday, President Kirk Scholes gave the annual State of the University address. Our own Elijah Clayton attended the event at Bryan Hall.
University President Kirk Schultz gave his annual State of the University address Tuesday afternoon in front of students and faculty in Bryan Hall.
One of the challenges we have today is there's a lot of changes going on in higher education.
Scholes used his time to discuss the university's broad plans for the future, but gave special attention to two key topics: diversity and WSU's relationship with Pullman and the state of Washington.
What are we doing to make sure we're advancing the state of Washington?
After his opening presentation, Scholes sat down for a fireside chat where he answered questions that faculty and students had submitted online. One of those questions was about how WSU is working with the city to revitalize downtown.
And why shouldn't we have a more vibrant downtown area? Now, if the university just steps in and goes, let me tell you what we have to do down here, you've lost it already.
Several weeks ago, I talked to Brandon Chapman, who is both a city council member and a professor at the university, and is spearheading the initiative to lower the speed limit on Main Street. I caught up with him again, and he was encouraged by the president's commitment to improving downtown.
President Schultz just gets it. He understands that it's important, and he's willing to back that up by putting resources.
Scholes also emphasized the need for WSU to provide access and opportunity to students who may not know that higher education is an option for them.
I believe to my core that we must have access to Washington residents that don't see higher education as an opportunity. WSU has got to be there, and they go, that is my way to get there.
Vice President of Student Affairs, Mary Jo Gonzalez, says as a first-generation college graduate, she would not be where she is today without that opportunity.
I'm a first-gen, myself, first-gen low-income college student, youngest of 10, and it was a faculty member who tapped me on the shoulder and said, Mary Jo, you are so much more than what you're showing up to be.
Elijah Clayton, Murrow, News 8.
This weekend, Pullman saw the most police reports of any weekend this year since football season. Pullman Police Commander Chris Tennant says on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they had about 100 cases reported. An average winter weekend gets about 60 cases reported. Pullman police received 14 noise complaints, a fourth-degree assault charge, 3 alcohol-related arrests of minors, and a first-degree trespassing charge. Tennant attributes this to the better weather in Pullman. Tennant says throughout the next month we'll see a steady increase in all police activity.
Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rodgers was one of only 14 Republicans to vote in favor of overriding President Trump's veto, which did not pass. McMorris Rodgers had previously voted against the president's national emergency declaration for a border wall, saying at the time that she was 100% for the wall, but had constitutional concerns.
When we come back, the United States plans to return to the moon.
And an update on Boeing's 737 MAX when Murrow News 8 continues.
What's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is
it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. We have breaking news right now happening in Seattle. Very little information is available to both of us at this time, but we can say that a shooting has taken place in the area of 120th Sandpoint Street in Lake City, just north of downtown, and that there are multiple victims and one person has been detained.
Again, we are working with little information at the moment, but we can tell you there is a heavy police presence and the immediate area is shut down. If we have more, we'll try to bring it to you before the end of the broadcast.
Boeing says the software fix for the 737 MAX is ready. The Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or MCAS, will no longer be able to override the pilot's actions when it senses the plane is about to stall. If the FAA approves the fix, 737 pilots will be retrained and over 300 aircraft will have to be retrofitted. The MCAS system is the primary focus of 2 crash investigations that killed over 300 people.
America may put astronauts back on the moon. In fact, yesterday Mike Pence announced it may be as soon as 2024.
It is the stated policy of this administration and the United States of America to return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
The earliest NASA can land on the moon again is 2028. But Pence says that with talent and money, NASA can make it happen. Pence warned that if NASA cannot reach this goal by 2024, then it's time to change the organization, not the mission. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine says that they will do everything they can to reach this deadline.
Well, elsewhere in outer space, NASA has canceled the first all-woman spacewalk due to a mismatch in suit sizes. Spokane native Anne McLean and astronaut Christina Koch were ready to make history until Mission Control had to change the spacewalk assignments because one of their suits didn't fit. NASA said the right-sized equipment was on board the space station, but incorrectly configured to the wrong astronaut. McLean will instead sit out the spacewalk, having Koch and astronaut Nick Hague go instead. Koch will become the 14th woman in history to perform a spacewalk.
Well, hopefully they can figure that out and get just another spacesuit. So an all-woman spacewalk would be extremely historic. Now, taking a look at weather, could the snow return to the long-term forecast? Zach, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, thanks, Brady. Looks like potentially we could get some rain-snow mix later in the forecast next week. But right now, today was warming up still a little bit. A lot of rain moving through it. It was pouring just a bit earlier. 46 today and 35 is your low, with not too much wind to have to worry about. Taking a look at tomorrow, stay around the same, 48, and then at 34 is our low with more rain. That rain is really going to stick around in the morning and taper off in the afternoon. Now taking a look at the radar throughout the area for our region. This is the band. That green band is the light rain, and we've got some purple and red. That's the heavier stuff. This was earlier this afternoon, and it's moving its way up towards Pullman, Moscow, and it's getting a little bit thicker as the night continues, so we could be seeing quite a bit more rainfall. And then taking a look at the map around the state of Washington today, of course, Seattle and Olympia still a little bit warmer than us. They're ahead of the trend as far as the temperature for spring goes. Yakima, Tri-Cities, they're experiencing much of the same weather we are, as well as Spokane up here, rain, cloudy. Most of the state's cloudy as we continue to see a pretty high pressure system move from the north down. That's going to be bringing some more moisture throughout the weekend. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast. Of course, rain, rain, rain. Thursday, Friday, we're going to see some scattered showers on Saturday morning, but for the most part, going to be mostly cloudy. That's your look at weather. We're going back to the desk.
Thank you, Zach. When we come back, Ryan Pierbaum will tell you more about the new WSU basketball head coach. And how did WSU baseball do against the Anteaters last weekend? When Murrow News 8 returns.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. We'll start with some more information on Kyle Smith. Smith spent the last 3 seasons as the head coach at the University of San Francisco after coaching at Columbia University for 6 years. He tallied 20 wins in each of his first 3 seasons at USF and has an overall record of 164 and 122 as a head coach. This past season, he led the Dons to a 21-10 record and a 4th-place finish in the West Coast Conference. Golden State Warriors guard and WSU alum Klay Thompson recently voiced his support for Coach Smith after a shoot-around last Thursday. Thompson said, quote, "Kyle at USF is doing a great job. I recommend him for an interview. Every program he's been at, he's turned around. USF was really good this year, and they beat some Pac-10 schools. I think he'd be a great candidate," unquote. In baseball news, the Cougars visited 22nd-ranked UC Irvine for a 3-game series over the weekend. The Anteaters took care of the Cougars, getting the series sweep by winning all 3 games. The Anteaters outscored the Cougs 17-6 over the course of the series. The series came after getting swept by number 9 Arizona State the weekend before. The Cougs had a chance to return to the win column Monday when they took on Loyola Marymount, but the Cougs fell again by a score of 3-2. The Cougars have now lost their last 9 games. The NFL is making major changes to their replay rules. For the first time in league history, both offensive and defensive pass interference calls will be reviewable. The changes come after there was an outcry from players, coaches, and fans in response to the blatant missed pass interference call near the end of the NFC Championship game between the Rams and Saints. Coaches will also be able to challenge plays where pass interference penalties aren't called. It is the first time penalties of any kind will be made reviewable since the league implemented their replay system. When we come back, we'll preview the Adobe Creative Jam taking place here at WSU. Stay with us.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark.
That was awesome! Let's go again!
3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Welcome back to the show. Tomorrow, WSU will host Adobe Creative Jam, an annual competition where students compete to develop a unique design solution. In the Spark, from 4 to 4:30, students collaborate using the Adobe Suite to develop an app that solves a problem. The event also features hands-on activities, portfolio reviews, technology demonstrations, and talks by creative leaders.
Well, that's our show. We thank you for joining us. You can always join us right here at Murrow News 8 on NWP.org on Cable 8.
And you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good. See you tomorrow.